The problem of purchasing and supply management is how to deal with the huge variety of products that we buy. Take, for instance, a distributor of technical components. A distributor may easily handle over 80,000 up to 100,000 different product codes, articles, that all are bought from suppliers. How do you manage this huge variety of products? And these products also need to be shipped, need to be transported, need to be delivered just in time at the doorstep of your company to satisfy your internal company's needs. Now, how do you do that? You have to create full transparency of what the company spends. How to do that is this video about. Let's take the example of my own university, Eindhoven University of Technology. How much does this company spend? On what does it spend its money? And how important is the total spend in relation to the total budget of the university? And I take here the figures of 2011. So what do you think is the annual financial budget of the Eindhoven University of Technology in 2011? Well, it's public knowledge. It was 293 million. And what do you think that this company spent in 2011? That was 128 million on energy, on investments, on facility services, on computers, you name it. It's about 43.6% of its total budget. And how many suppliers did the Eindhoven University buy from in 2011? Well, that were 4,586 suppliers, representing 27,000 euros on average per supplier. And the question then is, to which of these suppliers does the university represent an important customer? How many different departments did actually buy within the Eindhoven University? Well, these are over 35 different locations which barely are coordinated. Now, if you compare the number of suppliers with the number of employees, how many employees do you think we have? Well, we have only 3,131 employees. And how many of these were professional buyers, were operating in the purchasing department? These were just 4 people, representing 0.12% of the total number of employees. So, what we see is that a spend of 180 to 28 million is orchestrated, coordinated by just 4 people. And you can ask yourself, well, is that a wise thing to do? How many suppliers did these suppliers send in 2011? Well, these were 121,763 invoices. And based upon a handling cost per invoice of 25 euros, this means a total administrative cost of just handling these invoices of 3 million. And when you make these things transparent, you can wonder, would there be any opportunity for this university to improve its purchasing operations and its spend and getting better value for money from suppliers? And I think there is. And this also has been identified by our board already. So this is one way to create transparency in an organization, but obviously you need more information. And here are some key questions that every company should ask itself when it wants to professionalize purchasing and supply management. What percentage of your sales volume is spent on suppliers? How many suppliers does your company deal with? How do suppliers actually perform? Do you really get value for money from your suppliers? Does your company challenge your suppliers to give you the best performance? And to how many of the suppliers is your company a customer of choice? Does it get preferential treatment from that supplier? A cornerstone in the purchasing policy is what we call the spendcube. The spendcube identifies the spend per supplier, the spend per category of products that we buy, the spend per budget holder in the internal university, so that we can see who are the big spenders and the lesser spenders. And then this spendcube is the key, is the basis in order to generate necessary information for any purchasing professional to act. And it's far from simple, because we have to subtract this data from our management information systems and administrative systems. But when you have it, you can have fantastic insight and fantastic cost savings opportunities. Essential is that you have a category classification code so that everything that you buy is attributed to a certain product family, so that we know what we are spending in IT, on HR services, on transport and logistics, on professional services and whatsoever. You see here an example of how such a category classification system could look like. And when you have put all this together, you can easily make a very nice graph which indicates how many suppliers you have per type of commodity. And this is taken from a Dutch dairy cooperative, Friesland Campina, some years ago. And for the 10 business units that were involved at that time, they, for instance, identified that they had 54 different contracts for car leasing. So what can we conclude based on this discussion? First of all, that it is necessary to create full transparency of the spend of a particular organization. And just creating that transparency creates opportunity for great cost savings in organizations and standardization. We have seen that the spendcube that identifies the spend per budget holder, per supplier, per category of products that we buy is a very good tool to create that transparency. However, what is needed is a very close cooperation with your accounts payable in order to get this data in a manner that it gives meaning to purchasing and supply managers, because it cannot be readily taken from your administration. Essential is that you have a classification coding system through which you are able to allocate your purchasing spend to each different category. And finally, when you have then made an overview of your purchasing spend using graphs rather than Excel spreadsheets, you see that the ideas for cost savings will immediately emerge. This is the first step in professionalizing purchasing. Other videos will illustrate next steps.